and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, down, down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, 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 Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest this evening, he's going to be right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, he's coming. He's coming to the set right now of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. The one and only KG. How are you, my friend?
What is up, though? What is really good, though? And
happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yeah.
Happy Thursday. I just ate a pizza, and the ice cold beer seemed like the next best thing.
You know what? I just had local. I treated my parents. My dad was had to go to my Rhode Island for his sister's husband passed away, so he came home, and I got some Italian food from the local, like one of those deli places. Little lasagna, and some garlic bread and some seafood.
Hey man,
pasta.
What kind of seafood?
It's like a mixed combo, like one of those mixed combo with a little bit of octopus and this and that and whatever. Olives, yes.
Everything from the sea.
Everything from the sea, because the Jersey Shore. You know what to expect, right? That's popular.
What's up?
Thanks
again for having me on, man.
KG, you know what? Yeah, I know. We've been wanting to do this for years and years and quite a while now. And, it's like it's time to finally just get us on and bullshit and have fun. Because what you do best is commentate. And call a lot of matches over the years and years. And you've been around wrestling a long time, just like me as a fan, 9 years old almost, which is really, like a long road of wrestling,
Right.
Growing up, what was it like for you, KG? Man, just like basics, right? Yeah, just growing up watching.
Yeah, like
WWE.
I was just a regular kid, meaning a kid,
high school. Yeah,
what I consider a regular kid, meaning a kid that was like, grew up with the usual like broken family type situation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I would find all this, through music, through video games, and then through wrestling. Kind of as I discovered and latched onto these things, it just gave me such a feeling of magic in the world. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, growing up, I grew up in Queens, New York. So especially in those days, Queens, New York City was a wrestling town. It was the wrestling mecca. It was where all the wrestling magazines were from. It was where everything happened. They would run the Garden every month. They would run Nassau Coliseum every month, the Meadowlands in terms of WWE athletes. And then even the other company, WCW at that time, would come dabble up a little bit here and there. And it was just an exciting time. And wrestling to me, like once you start seeing people like Roddy Piper, you know what I'm saying? Like the Wild Samoans, people like that. And there's so many more, but it's like, what is this shit? Like, this is magic. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because, like wrestling, revolved and like ECW as well as Asbury Park, New Jersey, like my hometown, like right around the corner for me, like, come on.
That was where Bigelow did the thing with Spike Dudley, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yes. And also, did you know that one of the Dudley boys was a bouncer at the bar at the headline?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that. And I asked him about that. Yeah.
I remember one time I used to be in a band called No Redeeming Social Value, and we played a show in New York City during it was either the New Music Seminar or the CMJ Seminar, whichever, but Big Dick Dudley was the bouncer on the stage.
No shit.
For the show, and the show got violent and wild, but thankfully he didn't hurt us, you know what I'm saying?
No, because you know what? you were the one, like ICP. You really you got yourself involved with ICP with the Juggalos, and man, I'll tell you what, Kevin, picked out 2 albums I probably loved as a kid, like growing up. What do you think? Which albums do you think I have listened to
from ICP?
What do you think? I bet you can tell, right?
I would say Great Malenko and Jekyll Brothers.
Riddlebox was a good.
Ooh, OG, okay.
The Chicken Hunter was my favorite of them all, and then Hocus Pocus, and just all from the other CD as well. Just styles really. That's how I got hooked in ICP, and then watching tapes or finding the DVDs of ICP.
Yeah,
the Juggalo chip.
Their wrestling VHSs were in all the stores and selling crazy numbers.
And I played the game as well. The video game that you helped create as well. You were
Backyard Wrestling. Oh, look, I got this shit right here. Hold on.
Yeah.
The oversized box.
Oh, that's sick. That's sweet.
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to dig that out and play it again just for the hell of it. I should dig it out. Yeah.
I don't normally give him any props, but I was impressed to see that Atticus Kogar has a match coming up on the Independence with Madman Pondo. And to study up the match, he was playing some backyard wrestling in a sleeveless shirt to better.
I saw that in the promo. Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, it was in the promo?
No, was it a promo or a shot? Just a shot. Maybe it was.
Yeah, I saw a picture. Yeah.
Okay, that was it. Yeah, he was going to go versus the Madman, one of our guys that we know too well in the business. In inductee, our GCW inductee. Like the original, the first one ever to be inducted. Alongside the bulldozer, the bulldozer. Shout out to the bulldozer. He's got a big week coming up. My God, he has. I know. He's going to take on Onita once again, one more time, or 3 more times, or 5 more times. It's millions of times.
Onita, I guess this time the explosions will not be cheap.
Yes.
Cheap.
No.
None of that. Apparently,
no.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'll tell you what, KG. I went back and I was there for the original one at CZ Dub when the cluster box. The cluster, sure. It was fucked up. But I'm outside having a cigarette, and here's Larry Legend, here's Sam Roberts was there.
Wow.
And we're going, Onita! Like, Larry, give me your best Onita. Onita, I'll have to show you the clip. It's funny. I clipped it. But it's funny. Oh, I'm saying Onita, like I got it really going.
Yeah, the screaming Onita. I'm familiar.
But to see Larry and then Sam Roberts, because Sam Roberts was actually just going in the door, like leaving, into the comments in the building. It was funny. It's like, Boulevard Bullies were part of that too as well. Yes, that's nice. The ones who created the video. Shout out to those guys. Miss those guys. Doing good things.
Shout out to Onita being the guy.
Onita, I know, man. He's the one that we looked up to, as for FMW and big, BJW. Just like the way that the styles, deathmatch genre, it was back then, man. It was the real deal,
And he's such an enigma. Like all his stuff. Like I just love the way he would conduct himself before and after the match, and crawling to the back and laying on the floor to cut a promo and crying and. All of it. It's just so many facets. Like, and it's all just based on his charisma. I mean, his ability for violence and all that, notwithstanding.
And KG, just to think about it, you were there. You've been to Japan and you've been to the buildings. Like, it's mind blowing just to be there, to be like, I'm here in a place that this really originated. This is the place where I wish I was, could watch wrestling all the time, watch.
Yeah, to me, Korakuen Hall is arguably the greatest wrestling venue in the world. Like, I love Korakuen Hall. I love everything about it. And to have been backstage there, to have worked there, just to have the days I didn't work, I was just in the stands drinking beer, watching matches.
And walking around town, having a good time,
Oh my God. I think about going to Japan every day.
Yeah.
Every day, since before this pandemic started.
Well, man, if 2022 hits pretty good and we get back, I'm going. I gotta say, bucket list of places Game Changer goes, I go. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start.
Japan will change your life, and it's not that expensive once you get there as you think, especially if you tap into the convenience stores.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame over there.
And hang out with Mr. Danger, you'll be all right.
Go to Mr. Danger's Steakhouse, man. You'll be fed very, very well.
He's a great guy, really.
And many top deathmatch wrestlers and pro wrestlers and all that will tell you that Mr. Danger makes the best steak in Japan. It's I don't even eat steak myself, but I go there all the time, and everybody raves about it. Like they talk about it for hours after Mr. Danger is home and in bed. People are still like, "Yo, that steak was fucking sick." You know?
Yeah. I mean, because it's big and juicy. You know, it's what they want. You know, that's what he lives.
Wrestlers need steak. It's the law. You know, there's
it's
only very few.
Yeah, but you go to Japan and you're drinking Japanese beer. You know, you don't care. You know what I mean? You're just enjoying yourself. You're enjoying the beverages of the locals as well.
Enjoying everything.
Like, what's the favorite place you like to go to for like a Chinese Japanese meal? You know, like what would you like enjoy there? What's the best?
I mean, I just eat everywhere we ate was incredible. But I mean, just as a fan, Mr. Danger's is awesome. Like that would be the first place I go every time I go there. And then I also love Rivera. I don't even eat steak, and at least at Mr. Danger will make me a custom seafood plate. But at Rivera, obviously they only have this is what they have on the menu at Rivera: steak, side salad, rice, beer, corn. That's it.
Oh man,
there is nothing else. So I'll go there with like a whole group of people, and everyone orders steaks. And I'll get a side salad, a bowl of rice, and a beer. And I'll just drink beers there with everybody, but I just buy the food to support it. And for me, it's like, this rice is delicious. This salad is delicious. You know what I mean? But I've also been known to dip across the street and get a sandwich at 7-Eleven because you have no idea how good food is at 7-Eleven in Japan.
Oh, dude. No. So, it's probably like 10 times better, I heard, right? It's like better than ours almost.
Oh, God, a million times better. Like, you're happy to eat there. And it's so cheap. So, like, literally, I could just, after a couple of beers, I go across the street, get a sandwich or two, you know what I mean? Eat it. I walk back across the street, back for more beers, you know?
Yeah.
And just being in all those places to be around those Japanese legends, to be around all the young upstarts, everyone, the ring crew, the technical people, the people you meet on the street, every person is just fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but it's like a magical place.
It really is, and then you become good friends with them, and it's just great. You know, it's like a bond forever. You know, it's
for real. They don't forget, and they'll send you cards and presents for years after, and always remember the time they spent with you, even if it was a second. You know what I mean? But that makes you remember it forever too. You know.
I know.
And the same way they yell Onita, they would yell out G-Lema! They would scream for G-Raver, man. But
that's what I heard. That's what I remember. That's pretty good. Good respect. You know, mad props for that. G-Raver's one of our top guys, and we love him to death. You know, we'll always tell you what, KG. The first time I think I've seen him was CZW or actually VOW, Vicious Outcast.
Okay, yeah.
And my God, I did not know anything about the guy. I did my research. I had him on the podcast for the first time. I was like, all right, you're going to do, when you have those horrible podcasts when you're just starting out, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, not even, but no, it was really cool because we were talking about how he was in the movie. We were talking about movies and stuff. We were talking about the Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies as a young G-Raver. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to have to watch that.
He was in that. I have a signed copy of that movie here, signed by Roddy Piper, and I hosted a screening of that film in New York City, and Roddy Piper showed up as a surprise, and then I hosted a live Piper's Pit. I just had to put that in my Wikipedia somewhere. I don't have Wikipedia, so make me a Wikipedia and then put that in it.
But yes, G-Raver's wrestling. Yes, got to watch it. Got to be in it.
Wow, I'll watch it again.
Young G-Raver. Wow.
With a beard or no beard? Beardless?
I couldn't remember. He had all white. He's all white. He had his costume. I guess his gimmick was all white back when he was younger.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he had no tattoos.
No, God. Yeah, he has tons of tattoos. We know that. But that's really cool. Like, like people that we like to be seen as a wrestler, to, to be a part of a film. It's like, that's so cool as hell. Like, really, to be involved with it, to get yourself.
Yeah, movies are amazing. And you think of the couple of movies there are that focus on wrestling. You go back to They Live and Paradise Alley and on forward.
Yes.
There's a lot of cool shit in there. It's a forever.
I know.
You know?
It's like horror movies too, you know. It's like there's Halloween, man. You ready for Halloween?
G Raver is made to be in horror movies, man. I hope that G Raver finds his way into movies because he should be in the movies and television.
Oh man, if he had KG, if I had a choice of persons like a Rob Zombie kind of film, he would be perfect. Like, oh my god. Could you imagine him with Stephen King? Oh my God! If Stephen King came around, I think
Rob Zombie would be better. I don't think Stephen King would want to go where G Raver wants to go.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, G Raver doesn't want to G Raver like a Stephen King movie is probably like the equivalent of eating at McDonald's compared to eating at Mr. Danger's. You know what I mean?
Right.
He needs like purebred, raw, off the bone violence, like throwing people into meat shredders and meat grinders and chippers and all that.
That'd be kind of sick.
People alive in olive oil.
Yeah. Hey, Gene, are you listening to this? Gene Carlo, right? We can make a little documentary.
John Carlo's in the house.
I would just give him a shout out. I said he could make a cool video with it. Imagine like a really documentary of him, like as a horror. Ooh, that would have been wild.
Man, G Raver's ready. Even if someone imagine if a visionary filmmaker like a John Carlo was able to make like a 60-second vignette of the horror of G Raver. You know what I mean? It would probably launch a whole new career for G Raver.
Mm-hmm. What caught your eye on G Raver when you heard his name when he first came out? Really, just like, you know.
To be honest, I had met him, and he's such a nice guy, like so nice, extra nice, and polite, and that really stood out to me. So I met him first, and then I saw him wrestle. I feel like maybe the first time was maybe GCW's Backyard Wrestling when he went off the house.
The first, that one I was not there. I wish I was.
That wasn't his first match in GCW though. He'd obviously done a lot.
Yeah, he did a lot of because he's been around. Yeah.
I don't know. That was my first time seeing him, and then I saw him go off the house, and I'm like, this guy's fucking insane. And then every time since, he delivers in the ring to a level beyond what a human should be able to deliver, and his look, his vibe, his mystique, it's so not fake. Like it's so like he's terrifying. When I see him come through
he's the death of the taker. You know, I would call him death of the taker because he really, vibes off of the taker a little bit. Really, death of the taker. I like that. You know what I mean? To
me, it's just like this horror. Like when you see him come through the curtain and the look in his eye and the way he
with that mask, that mask is fucking evil. It's like sick. I love it. Like I gotta find out where he gets that done by. That's pretty cool.
It's like human agony. He's just pure agony, and now he's letting all his rage out on everyone.
He does.
So,
everybody. Jimmy fucking Lloyd. Yeah, goddamn Jimmy. But let's KG, what's so what movies, horror movies, as we're talking about, like what's your favorite go-to horror movie? Like for this, let's talk, mix it up. Like that's why I wanted to, now it's Halloween, man. Like what's your throwback movie or what do you like to watch?
I would go with Return of the Living Dead. Oh no, was it Return of the Living Dead. That I think is the perfect zombie film and therefore the perfect horror film. Even though it's not the scariest movie. Life is terrifying enough and filled with horror, so I don't look for that much horror in my free time.
Yeah, right.
And by that much, I mean none.
Yeah. But
although I did watch this great horror movie once with Gringo Loco, and it was fucking sick. It was about this lady's alone in a house, in this cabin, way out in the middle of nowhere, and this crazy dude shows up and is trying to kill her, and oh god, but it was so suspenseful. I can't remember the name of it, but it was fucking awesome. It involved shooting people with arrows and but it was horror, but that kind of not Satan-based horror or monster-based horror. The horror of the human mind.
KG, I always go back to the old classic Friday the 13th, man. That's my go-to.
Those movies
that's
give me nightmares, dude.
Yeah, they all give you nightmares. But then Texas Chainsaw, of course, the original. The original. I don't like the newer. The newer, when they do those new really the part 20, it's gonna be brand new. The Halloween just came out, the Halloween Kills, I just like the original shit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes the originals are the best. Maybe someday they'll remake They Live, and maybe it'll be good. But I don't know that it could ever top the original.
No. And speaking of that, I actually was pissed off because I went to a convention in New York City I saw that I was at a convention, a car show convention, whatever it was. And no, actually it was, car convention. And the next door was HorrorCon. And
Okay.
So I went in. Yeah.
Harder to
Chiller.
go.
I think it was Chiller Fest I went to. It was a Chiller Fest. And so Piper was there. Dude, the line was long. I missed it for They Live. And I just bought the DVD. I had bought the DVD online, I'm like, fuck, man, this would be a great time to get him to sign it. But no, never did.
I don't know. Can you see this? I think it's just under the graphic.
Right.
This is actual 8x10 from the They Live press kit. My friend, who actually went on to make the film Jodorowsky's Dune and the New York Hardcore documentary, Frank Pavich. He got me a They Live press kit, like the complete press kit with all the promotional 8x10s from the film and all the press releases. And this is one of the pictures in it. So Roddy Piper, when his book came out, he did a signing in San Francisco. So I brought this picture to get signed.
Hell yeah.
And I always hope someday to get his co-star to sign it, Keith David, but unfortunately that did not pan out.
No, but I do have a picture somewhere floating around. I do have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Gunnar Harrison. I do have his autograph. Nice. I did have his before he died. Sure,
not after. After would be harder and possibly.
No. And then I met Ken Hodder. Ken Hodder's cool as hell. He's really down.
Yeah, I haven't met him, but I hear very good things about him from everyone who meets him.
Dude, I got if I was pissed, I should have took a picture. The voice of Chucky was right behind me. The original fucking guy was right behind me because he heard the voice. Somebody said, "Hey, turn around." I missed it, but nice. I did meet the cop from Nightmare on Elm Street.
I met the cop from Terminator, like the liquid metal cop or whatever. Like right after Terminator came out, he was at this. It was actually at a WrestleMania VIP party, like a little cocktail thing they had before a WrestleMania that I somehow was at. And then he was there, but he looks, he's just exact. And you had just seen the movie like the month before. So you're like, holy shit, dude.
I met, who else did I meet? I met, I actually met the Beetlejuice, the gay designer dude. the guy who did the designing of the house, like the decorator guy.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty
I thought you were talking about Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show for a minute.
Oh, God, Beetlejuice. Yeah, we need to get him out of here, right? We need.
You ever peep any of those Luke Hadley Beetlejuice videos on YouTube?
No, they are hilarious. Yeah,
Luke Hadley has many, and they're like hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah, but I've met Linda Harrison from Planet of the Apes. That's original. That's like old school. Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld's parents.
Oh wow.
Who else? Probably some other guys. Wrestlers probably too. I can't remember. There's so many wrestlers that those things too, But it's fun though, going around meeting all the conventions are just fun altogether, because you see
just celebrating what you love and supporting the people that made it happen. A lot of the people that you love make all these sacrifices or go through hardships at some stage in their life to deliver what they're delivering. You know what I mean? So.
And then plus like rock stars too, celebrities, punk rock bands and stuff too, I think the Ramones are popular. They're still around, they're still doing signings at, those horror cons.
Who's still doing signings though?
The Ramones, I believe.
Oh yeah. Like some of the, one of the members I know does some signing. I forget. He also makes a tomato sauce. I forget which Ramon it was, but he did a tour with he was the drummer for the Ramones, and he did a tour where he played the drums and Andrew WK did the vocals, and they did an all Ramones set. And
now KG, what did you think of our friends meeting Danzig? My gosh.
Oh man.
I was blown away, dude. I was blown away.
Really cool.
You never know who I told Gina Carlo, I was like, you never know who you run into as a celebrity or anybody. in the street.
I found out I was just chilling out. I was working on something in LA the night of Bloodsport, so I wasn't there. And I just got back to my hotel, and I look on social media, and Alley Cat just posted a picture of her and Glenn Danzig. And I figured she wasn't on Bloodsport. So, you run into people in Hollywood. So I thought maybe she ran into him. But then a minute later, I see Chris Dickinson with them. And I'm like, and I could tell from the picture.
Well, actually, I think it was first with Jonathan, our buddy Jonathan, Powerbomb.
Oh, okay. I didn't see his at first.
Oh, yeah.
Me, it was Alley Catch.
Right.
The algorithm, man. The algorithm knows I like Alley Catch content.
But to see the faces on them, my God, like that's a guy who's been around, man. He fucking right, like we like listen to that jam. It's like holy shit, like it is still my head.
The Dickinson picture is the ultimate because Dickinson is as metal as it gets, and
I know.
Well, to be fair, Matthew Justice is also as metal as it gets. But
yes, he is.
I know it meant a lot to Dickinson. For me, like I'm not a believe it or not, I love punk rock and hardcore and metal and all that shit. I was never a big Misfits fan or a Danzig fan or whatever. They all have some good songs, obviously. I've seen them play.
But you're a big Rancid fan.
On Danzig, you know what I mean?
But you are a big Rancid fan. Rancid all the way.
Rancid all day. I saw Rancid. Man. The only reason I saw the Misfits is because they played with Rancid. But it was cool, and I loved how much people loved it. To me, that's cool. I'm not there being like, oh, fuck the Misfits. I'm there like, oh, how cool is this? Look how much this means to everybody here. But meanwhile, I've also gotten to see my band already, so I could wander around the building. I can check out the
KG, I got two stories for you. You're gonna be like, wow. All right. One year, my sister had a New Year's party, right, at her house in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right. So we go out. So it's me and my family, my dad, and everybody else is in the house, and everybody's celebrating, and we're all walking to the kitchen. I walk into the kitchen, right, to go get a drink or something, and or find something to snack on, and this guy and his son were there, right? And I asked for some. I was like, man, I could go for some Bing cherries, and it was, but it was CC DeVille, a Poison dude. He's like,
well, there's no other CC DeVille.
You
didn't recognize him by his voice.
Like no. But he's like, hey, that's my song. What? Cherry Pie by Warrant? No shit. Like, but then he had his Poison t-shirt, the logo. I'm like, damn. So he's hanging out with myself.
Pulling like a Hulk Hogan, walking through the airport with all Hulkamania gear on and a do-rag that says Hulkamania on it, wondering how you recognize them in a feather boa.
Yeah.
How do you recognize me, brother?
Yeah. And the funny thing was, he wasn't even drinking Diet Coke.
Nice.
Because he was a big alcoholic, through his career.
Sure. Did you notice his voice when you spoke to him or no?
No. Like
I've always seen CC DeVille on those behind the musics and shit, and it just sounds like he ate a box of sandpaper.
Mm-hmm. So
let me tell you the thing about being in Poison.
But would have been cool if he had broke out a guitar and just like just jammed for us, would have been like wow.
I met Ace Frehley one time at a party.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him when Frehley's Comet was coming back. He said he didn't know, but he hoped soon, and we're still waiting.
Right. Then you want to hear my Madonna story from my dad? My dad has a great story. Well, my dad worked as a diesel filter man, right? Selling filters, and he was upstate New York in Long Island. He would go out to Long Island a lot, and for his company, and he went to this one restaurant, and they said Madonna's going to be here tonight. Okay, right? So he's like, okay. He didn't know who, So my dad goes into the restaurant, sits down, and he's like, is she going to be here tonight? Yes. And
they're like, sir, that's what we told you.
Yeah. And so what he did was he went back to his hotel, put a business. She said, come on back later, or come back. My dad grabbed his business suit jacket and put it on, and he had a business card in his pocket. And he was like, I went to high school with this lady here, blah, 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 just to get in the door, like the hostess, to get, and he's like, okay, go sit down over here. And then Madonna sat right next to him. having a dinner with my dad. Just crashed like a Madonna signing for $1 million contract the night before in New York City. You know,
Nice.
Isn't that insane?
I was at a little bar once, and Bjork came and sat next to me not because of me, but because there was an empty chair next to me. But it was still nice.
All right, I'll never forget the time, KG. I'm sitting at Planet Hollywood, New York City, and I'm hearing these voices behind me. You know, my parents are with my dad. It's Christmas time or whatever time it is, and I was probably younger. Well, he's like, "I don't play that," and I'm looking around, looking at. Dad, that's what's his name from In Living Color, and it was
Keenan. Was it Keenan? No, not Keenan.
Kiefer Nine Waynes, Kiefer, one of the Wayans brothers, yeah.
Nice. I was at a TGI Fridays one time, and Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler were at the next table, and I didn't say shit to them, but because I didn't want to fucking bother them. You know what I mean? Let them just enjoy their meals and talk all their shit. But it was funny just to be sitting next to them and hearing all their stories.
Yeah. Oh, how was that podcast you were listening to? You were listening to it earlier. Pretty good. I'll have to check that one out. I'll listen to
Which one?
JBL. Was it Jim Ross? You were just listening to an old one.
What do you think about Jim Ross purchasing a marijuana farm?
I don't know, man. Do it, right? Sell it, buy it.
Fuck
right?
yeah, dude. I was tweeting earlier about I hope he does slobber knocker pre-rolled infused blunts with the glass tips. That would be my first go-to if I was him. And infused main event mustard and all the medicated catch-ups as well. Kind of catch-up, if you will.
Ooh, that'd be kind of
good old JR.
Yeah. Good old JR, man. Growing up watching him, just listen to his voice, just on the WWE era, it's like this guy's on TV.
WCW, yeah, he's the man.
AEW now, big show. Come on, it's like, all right, these guys are great on the mic. Eddie Kingston now taking on the mic commentary as a team. He needs to be full time once in a while with that.
Punk's great on the mic. You know what I mean?
Really
they have no shortage of that there.
No, even Malachi, Tommy Yen. There's one dude that's tough in the biz. He's one tough son of a bitch. That guy, Tommy Yen.
Yeah, man. Well, who do you think would win in Tommy Yen versus Nick Gage?
Oh, man.
Does Tommy Yen, for all his Satanism and etc., is he willing to face Nick Gage?
Good question.
Jericho was. Moxley is.
Tommy Yen? That'd be a new, That'd be a good brawl, though. That'd be kind of a fucking, That'd be like a real fucking. That'd be like a death match part 5 or something. No, they would just go. I don't know. Could you imagine them going at it? Because don't forget, Tommy Yen did do death CZW's tournament of death. He's done tournament of death, and I saw that. I witnessed that. So
then maybe he would be up for it.
He would be.
Find out.
Yeah.
What do you think about John Moxley having a new book about to come out?
Do you know what? I was blown away by that. Shout out to our friend Nick Mondo for putting that little video out there of it. It looks very interesting. It's something I want to purchase and buy. It's going to be interested to see the stories on the inside of John's life. Really.
Especially his perspective. He's an interesting dude, so I think his book is going to be super, super interesting.
And to go back and look. I wish KG. I wish we were around for the early days of his career to watch him. To see him in IWA Mid South and just Combat Zone when he was really just a seed in the shell. Just showing who he was. But man, just the way he is now, he's on a roll. He's our champ right now. So
the champion of the world and featured heavily on AEW every week on TNT and all that. Mm-hmm. And you got a baby at home and a new book and a wife, and I know. Probably got a cold beer in his hand right now.
I know. I know. And his wife does the podcast. She kills it. My God, she kills it every week.
Indeed. And our show's been co-host too with Emilio Sparks.
Ooh, Emilio! Shout out to him.
We call him Emilio Sparkles because he shines. You know what I'm saying? He glimmers, if you will.
Yeah. But you know what? It's always good to hear voices on a commentary team. You know, you got just shout out to our Dave Prazak, the one and only.
Oh, God, Dave Prazak. Shout out to Lenny Leonard. Shout out to
Yeah.
MLJ, Ali Catch.
MLJ is our fucking, my God. He's like our monster of the voice. His voice is like, you know, he's his energy, KG. We know it. It's like he's just ready for it. The click of a button, you know, like a stick of dynamite to go off, and he just like every show you see his hypeness. He knows what people want. Like you love when you get the hype, and it's just like the rush is there. So you lose your voice. You're like, fuck. That day,
right?
You know,
it takes control. MLJ is really good at what he does, and you make a good point there. Yeah, because it's not even like, in a way, it's some energy you have at the core, but it's really the energy of the room and the locker room that just flows through you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how it works with MLJ. I know that how it works with me.
I mean, he gets excited. He gets excited when he sees a wrestler come out. You know, one of those legends like Mick Foley.
Yeah, correct. No matter how many times he sees it, he's fucking excited. And that's I think that's
I watched it. I rewatched the play. I rewatching him like this guy's hyped. He's, you know, you can see it in his face. You really, because he's got throwback shirts on. It's great. He just loves to represent.
What do you think about Kit Osborne being added to the NGI?
You know what? I'm just wearing the old NGI 2 shirt right now. Shout out to NGI 2. Wrestling. Old school. You know what? He's an original OG of the combat. You know, from Game Changer. He's one of the original. So it's just good for him to get the, you know, his shop. He's been on the.
Yeah, he's in there with there's a lot of talent in that NGI, you know, talent roster. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's going to be some magic happening. Some hard decisions being made.
You'll be sitting. I know you'll be sitting. You'll be sitting there behind the mic again. You'll be sitting there at the comm table. It's like, KG will be right there, and I'll be tweeting him again. Hey, what's going on? This match is great, right? I gotta start gifting. Yeah. I need to start gifting every time they do something on, you know, like a spot.
Do it. It always helps. There's a lot of shit. Sometimes we have replays and sometimes we don't. So sometimes we don't have a replay. A GIF is the replay.
I like your ears sometimes too. Oh, this sound doesn't sound good, right? Like, I always let you know. Like, I let you guys know something's not right with the video or audio, you know?
No, I appreciate it. It takes a lot of hands to help make it all happen. And,
I know.
I appreciate the opportunity to chop it up with you, man, and talk about so many things. It's been fucking fun for me. You know what I'm saying? I got to drink my beer. I got to talk about wrestling. And I think now I'm actually going to do another podcast. So I'm going to do an unprecedented 2 podcasts in one night. But I think one is being taped.
KG, let's just what do we got going on? Well, of course we're going to be seeing NGI, right? Go ahead, throw some stuff out there. Plug away. Do your plugs and
GCW is coming to Detroit. Detroit is not a B town. Detroit is an A town. Unfortunately, Matt Cardona will be signing or whatever he's doing, appearing. I have no control over that. I have no.
He's doing a jerk off. He's doing a jerk off signing in the back.
I just know he's going to be there, and that's kind of the appetizer, if you will, for that NGI 2 days of fucking violence, or not 2 days, but you know what I'm saying. One night that feels like it's 2 days because there's so much fucking violence crammed in, and I'm just excited about the whole thing. GCW path to worldwide domination continues thanks to your support. Check us out on patreon.com/GameChangerWrestling. All the places Game Changer is on social media. As for me, I'm on social media too, at OG Kevin Gill on Twitter and Instagram, KG Kevin Gill on the Facebook machine. And I'm always up to something. On Mondays, I usually do a show with Ron Funches called Get High and Watch Wrestling. I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.com/Kevin Gill. And last but not least, what else do I have? I am now taking tips on Twitter.
I need to get tips, damn it. Come on, people. Give me tips.
Thank you for the time. Well, much love for the invitation. And thank you for supporting what we do.
Absolutely. And I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you.
Hell yeah, brother. Peace out.
Later. Enjoy your podcast. Next episode. I got to figure out who I got next on my podcast. All right. That was awesome. Fans, you know what? It's fun to talk it up with KG. He's one of the best on the microphones. Behind the comm table, and sometimes he gets up and he will announce a match here and there, and for Game Changer Wrestling and other places as well sometimes. But he's one of those guys who really down to earth. He knows what he wants. He's humble, and you know what, fans, he's always it's a KG is one of those guys that you want to be at a show and feel the energy. Like I said with MLJ, shout out to MLJ, the ring announcer and commentator of Game Changer Wrestling as well, and KG, the commentator of Game Changer. I like to call them the comm table because they are the best at what they do behind the microphone. Call the matches play by play and just the way that they get the hype, the room up, and for a show, it's going to be great. NGI, check that out. Not Facebook, excuse me. Check that out on Fight TV, fans. He did not plug Fight TV. I'm sorry. KG, I got you on that one. I caught it. Check it out on Fight TV. Game Changer Wrestling on Fight TV. For let's just so I don't go crazy, fans, and I'm plugging now because yeah, November 15th. November, not the 15th, November 13th at 4 p.m. on Fight TV. NGI 6 deathmatch tournament. Fans, let's get ultra violent because you know what? GCW is ultra violent and pro wrestling. Indie pro wrestling is the best talent, kept secrets of the world of wrestling, independent wise, and many more talents as well. Real talented roster of the Game Changer and people that they bring in. My God, you're blown away. Go to a show. Go to a Game Changer show, fans. If you've never been to an experience of a Game Changer show, you know what? Go and check one out because it's fun. It's exciting. It's a lot of violence. It's wrestling. And much, much more. It's just an adrenaline rush that you would be like, oh, I need to keep on going and going and going and going because it's wrestling. All right, fans. You know what? I'm going to look at my notes here for a minute. Give me 1 second because ladies and gentlemen, Deathmatch Russell Pod coming up on the Deathmatch Russell podcast. And this actually, is it tomorrow night? Is it tomorrow night? Yes, it is. Tomorrow night, live on the Deathmatch Russell podcast. We're going to be talking to independent pro wrestler Andres Reyes. Reyes. And looking forward to talking to him at 8 p.m. Catch that podcast and many more. Thank you, fans, for listening to the Deathmatch Russell podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and see you tomorrow for another episode of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media. DeathmatchRussell.com. Follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32 and on Facebook. Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at PodcastCity.net. Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Hey, wrestling fans, check out BootandHeel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Russell Podcast as well. www.BootandHeel.com. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Hey, wrestling fans, check out bootandheel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Russell podcast as well. www.bootandheel.com.